Welcome live. My name is Josh Cohen. We're here in the Food52 test kitchen, here with our honored guest, Nigella Lawson.
It's lovely to be here.
We're here to celebrate your new cookbook, is that right?
Indeed.
Cool. Can we show the people out there in live Facebook land what do we have? What do we have going on here?
It's good. At my table,
Okay.
and there I am at my table, there, doing something to a bread roll, a bit of bread.
Now I know your vibe is sort of like you cook very naturally. You should have fun in the kitchen. Is that sort of what you're going for with this book here?
Well, I suppose so, but I think it was really just wanting to talk about home cooking, which is, I suppose, really what Food52 is talking about.
Yeah.
And actually, for so many people, when you say home cooking, they think you're talking about some sort of bland food from the past. And actually, home cooking is very dynamic. But all of us who cook at home, we've got other constraints on our time and other demands. So it's about food that tastes really good, but it is really manageable.
Yeah.
And you can do it and have a relaxed time.
I do think that your philosophy here is very similar to what we try and do at Food52, where it's like the flavor should come first, but it also needs to be manageable for people who are like working or on a weeknight, that sort of thing.
Quite. I mean, you know, every time I think about doing something that was really complicated, I just think, I'm too tired, I can't be doing it. So, you know, it's food I can manage when I have people over and finishing my work and getting everything else done.
I think the recipes that we selected actually to do live today are a perfect example of the sort of thing that, like, if you have someone drop in or you want to whip up dinner really quickly, it's totally doable. It's like weeknight dinner right here for you.
Okay.
Do you want to start here? We have lamb chops.
We have got lamb chops. These are some spicy lamb chops with a mint and preserved lemon salsa.
Yeah.
We're going to get onto the preserved lemons in a minute. So, I've always got food in a freezer bag that I'm about to marinate. And here they are, just easier, it saves washing up. You don't need to use as much liquid. So, I'm going to do, shall I do oil first?
Yeah, I think oil first.
Okay, so some olive oil. Not too much, just a little bit of moisturization. Now, something I can never stop doing, which is zesting lemons, because there's so much flavor in the zest, all those aromatic oils, and it pains me when people just use the juice and they don't use the zest as well.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So I'm just going to grate this in.
While you're working on that, I'm going to keep myself busy over here doing the chopped salad, which
Very
is
good.
also in your cookbook.
Yes.
And that way I have something to do here.
Well, yeah, but anything you want to do over here, always, you know, feel free.
Sure, I
Keep
can
an
hop
eye on the
over.
fact that I'm not going to spill my lemon zest all over the counter.
Well, we cheated because that technically has to marinate for like 30 to 40 minutes.
Yes, but I mean, if you had
So we
15,
have
you could. I'm going to carry on anyway.
Yeah.
You know. So
That's good to know for the people at home, where sometimes a recipe will say like 25 minutes and the home cook will think I have to do it for exactly 25
But there is
minutes.
also a reason why I say that, which is that if these have been in the fridge, if you cook them from fridge cold, it's not ideal. So really, I would say you need that you want to kind of be marinating enough time to let them get to room temperature.
Right, they cook better when they're
I know that Americans have a horror of letting meat come to room temperature, but I don't like cooking it. I mean, to go cold, it's very difficult, especially if you want the meat pink. Yeah. Because you know you don't want it cold inside. Okay. This is not a good thing to do if you have any cuts or anything. I don't. And you can see I'm letting pips fall out. I don't, because it doesn't really matter.
Right, because by the time it goes on the grill, it doesn't matter.
And anyway, right. I'm going over here a minute and ruining the stage dressing.
That's what live cooking is all about, right?
And so garlic, which I use the microplane for as well.
I find that microplane garlic and lemon zest are two of my favorite ingredients.
Yes.
You could add that to
anything.
So many savory things.
Yes, I know. And in fact, it's just starting off, and actually when you fry, just you could smell it in the air. It really perfumes a dish beautifully.
Yeah. One of my favorite tricks is when something is hot, just coming out of the pan, to add a little bit of microplane garlic to it then, and you get that perfume.
Right, seem to have enough of that there. Some dried mint. I love mint, I think it's underused. So this recipe is all about going for it. Red pepper flakes. crushed chili, whatever you want to call it. You call this kosher salt, don't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you call it?
Well, I say sea salt flakes.
We should do a whole separate Facebook Live just on how you say things and how I say things.
Okay, now this is always good. So a bit of squidging around.
I'm supposed to mention also, I forgot.
What are you supposed to mention?
Because this is a live broadcast, if people are having questions, they can write in on Facebook, and Gabriella, our wonderful producer here, is going to read your questions out loud to us so we can interact with people.
Oh, very good. That's very exciting.
One time I think my mom tried to write in, so don't do that.
Of course she did. Right, where I'm going to start on my salsa. Okay, I'm going to clear the decks a bit.
I have a garbage.
That there. Right. Some mint, fresh mint now.
Now, mint and lamb is like a famous combination, right?
Well, it is.
Do you have nostalgia for those?
Yes, and in fact,
flavors?
this is. Do you know? So when I was growing up, my mother always made a mint sauce to go with lamb, but she made it with fresh mint, a teeny bit of sugar, boiling water, and vinegar. And this is really like a modern sort of reworking, but instead of vinegar, I'm using some intense sharp preserved lemons.
Yeah.
Now I know that it's not an everyday ingredient, but the thing is, once you get into the whole world of, you know, these jars of preserved lemons, I don't know if I've got one to show, you just can't stop using them. Now normally I do, if they're this size, I'd use 2, but I'm going to just do 1. Now I'm going to move this a bit because it's quite good. Yeah, so these, they're
you can pick it up at like a Middle Eastern specialty store.
Yeah, and they're available in more and more places.
Yeah. Have you ever done your own preserved lemons?
Yes, I have.
You need a lot of patience for that, right?
do. Well, you do, but I love the ones you get in jars because they're all ready to go.
Yeah.
And they add such wonderful flavour.
Yeah.
So much, whether you're making like a vinaigrette or roast cauliflower or just anything. So
now, for people at home who might not be familiar, you're not going to use the flesh of the lemon. You're going to use the peel. Is that correct?
No,
or do you use the whole thing?
I use the whole thing. So
bold move.
No,
Facebook Live.
So So you always, every recipe always says just use the peel.
Right.
Why?
Well, it can be a pretty powerful flavor.
That's what I'm going for.
There you go. You know, as a sauce, I think that works because
anyway,
you're just using
I know,
a little bit.
But I feel just because some people say that, everyone then says that, and for no good reason.
Right. Yeah. I mean, how many people don't use the inside, and they probably never even taste it to see whether they like it or not?
So I always use the inside. I don't mind. It may be inauthentic, but it doesn't make sense to me not to use it.
Well, you know, whatever tastes good, I think is good.
Whatever tastes good is the rule.
I see we might have some questions.
We've got some questions coming in.
Okay, I'm just going to put some garlic in. Yeah.
Gary is wondering if you can wash the freezer bags and use them again when you're doing something marinated like this.
Well, my great aunt would have done. I don't if it's had oil, because I don't know how long you'd have to keep washing it. But I mean, if anyone's up for that, why not?
And we had a question from Deborah, and she's asking if we're just marinating.
But you can, by the way, I'm just going to say as well, you can put it in a dish. You can put it in like in a Pyrex dish and just leave it to marinate like that.
Right. Then you're not even using plastic at all, which is the way of the future.
Which is the way of the future. Okay, I'm going to listen because I'm going to make a noise in a minute, and so I won't be able to answer questions. So do you want to give a...
Oh, yeah. Actually, we have a request for the camera. If we can tilt down a little bit to see what's going on the counter, we can definitely do that.
Okay. So I'm going to put some oil over this. Beautiful. And so I've never used this particular contraption before, but I'm going to give it a go. Okay, this one I like to be on max. It's quite a small blade. Now I love salt and everything, but I don't add salt to this because the lemons, I'm going on max here, the lemons are quite salty when they're in the brine. To be a bit, I think I use one that's a bit more fierce tone. So don't mind me, I'm just going to carry on blitzing forever.
What kind of consistency are you looking for here?
I'm looking really for a consistency that is almost smooth, but it's flecked rather than smooth, but certainly not with large pieces. It should be emulsified. So I'm just going to carry on.
We were working with minced downstairs in our kitchen. For those that don't know, we also have an event happening tonight with Nigella, also promoting the book. And we're doing your recipe where fish is fried covered in polenta.
Oh, yes.
And it gets a little dot of the pea puree.
Pea puree with mint in, I know. Mint's such a wonderful ingredient.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it in salads too. And in fact, but I'm making this now with mint, but I actually commonly make this with kind of whatever herbs I can find.
Yeah.
I've once made a mixture of cilantro, parsley, a bit of mint, and some oregano. Because it's just what I have. Because I always keep these lemons around.
Yeah, I was mentioning cilantro. I think that would work really well.
It would. And I have to say as well that the juice, which I do need a teeny bit of, the juice from the the lemons, is, you know, when it's a brine, so you have to be a bit careful.
Right.
But I make what I call a lemon dirty martini, because instead of using the jar of olives, that liquid, I use a splosh. Yes. See, look, can you see? It's really. So I feel I could carry on, but I might drive everyone mad if I carry on. I do want a.
That didn't make it in the book, did it? Preserved lemon dirty martini?
It did. I'll show you a picture of it.
Okay.
Oh my goodness me, yes, and it's actually got a Food52 cocktail shaker in the shot. You can do that. I'm gonna carry on. I think this is sort of okay. I mean, I could go on, but
tonight at the event we're gonna serve this one.
That's
Negroni.
divine. Negroni sbagliato.
Yes.
Which is just like Negroni.
There it is.
Can you
dirty
see?
Lemon martini.
And there's the.
Josh, can you flip that around so we can see that?
Okay.
Got another question coming from Laura.
Yes.
She asks, when you're cooking at home, are there any tools in your kitchen that you can't live without?
A fine microplane grater. I don't normally use the zester. I frankly use. Let me put this back here. I use the lemon. I use the fine zester for absolutely everything. I might be moving this soon. Right. Are you?
Can we swap it in?
Is this going to be hot enough?
I'm gonna make it a little hotter now.
We've got another question from Heather while we're heating up the pan. Do you like to change things up during the week, or do you have a favorite go-to meal for weeknights?
I kind of do. I do a mixture. What I really love is the sort of cooking you do when you open the fridge. I call it like a fridge forage. When you open the fridge and you just think, I've got to use all things up. My Monday cook is always right.
My wife calls that the pantry challenge.
Yes, well,
try and save a little bit of money.
And I love that. So I do like that, but I kind of do have things I fall back on quite a lot. And I know, for example, I often have the ingredients for this sauce, because what I know about it is that you can do something very plain. You know, you can make a herb sauce, roasted chicken, and it's perfect. I do. I mean, I have to say, there's not a week that goes by without roasting at least one chicken. I mean, someone on Twitter once said I was the person that mother hens, warn their chicks about, because I'm always roasting a chicken. I make that. What I make nearly every week as well is it's a vegan recipe. It's a butternut and sweet potato curry, which I use. I make the paste. I use the same, immersion blender to make the paste, and I nearly always make that. And I also, because it gives me, if I make a big batch of it, I know I've got some in the fridge too for when the need arises. Yeah. We're not doing that recipe here, but that's on my website, which is easy enough to get. But now I'm gonna. Do you think? Shall I go for it?
Yeah.
Are you happy?
Let's do it.
Well, we can hear. Yes.
Yeah.
You might not be able to see us in a minute because we'll be completely.
We're gonna smoke you out.
Completely smoked. Gonna see if I can get all of them in. Don't know if I've arranged it as well as I might have. That can go that way. Actually, I'll leave that one. Just going to have a bit of a wipe down.
Now for...
Yeah, I'm just washing my hands. Carry on. I will listen to you.
For a lamb chop like this, you'd say like 2 to 3 minutes
I would do
aside?
about 2 minutes aside because I like it pink.
Yeah.
But
and that's important to know what you're aiming for.
Yes.
Some people will ask me, you know, how long should I cook something? And I think it really depends. You should have a clear image in your mind of what you're going for.
Yes.
Because some people want it well done and some people want it pink, and I give them different advice.
When it's been marinated as well, it's so tender.
Yes.
So that you can afford to have it wouldn't really matter if it overcooked. For me, I prefer not.
Right.
But it should keep it. And what's quite interesting, and I think this is about cooking in general, is that they're not the same flavors exactly, because dried mint is very different from fresh mint.
Yeah.
There's something much smokier about it. But it's that the flavors echo one another. Mm-hmm. It's like a different, so the fresh lemon and dried mint paired with the preserved lemon and the fresh mint. So it's a bit like, backing singers often wear almost versions of the same outfit, but they're a teeny bit different.
That's
like
great
that.
imagery.
Can you give me a spoon?
I
want to taste to see if I need what else I might need. I can use this part of the fork. Now, I would really go on for longer to make sure these bits of preserved lemons are completely smooth, but I was slightly losing the battle with the blender there.
Yeah.
Wow. I love it. You can taste it, it's quite intense. I think if I run out of garlic too, I would consider putting more garlic in, although I can feel the garlic coming through now that I say that.
Yeah, the longer it's in your mouth, you can... I really like that idea of the dried mint in the marinade as like the backup singer to the fresh mint in the sauce, and the same thing with the preserved lemon in the...
I know, and they go well. But as I say, it's very nice to have a sauce you can make, and you can add different herbs in the same way as you could use thyme.
Yeah.
This, I just think, as I say, mint is all. I've always found it very underused.
Do you find that a lot of your recipes in this cookbook, there can be some like swap-ins where if you don't have a certain ingredient, it's easy enough to use something else?
Yes, a lot of things can be swap-ins, but it's so much to do with people's own tastes about what they use.
Yeah.
You have a recipe with cilantro. Someone doesn't like cilantro. If it's the main focus of the recipe, do another recipe.
Right.
But if it's just a herb that's being used as part of everything else, or as a final flavouring at the end, then I change it.
Yeah.
But in the same way, though, I feel because I cook at home. I hate it when you buy an ingredient, a particular product or something, and then you just think, well, what do I use it for again? So if I have a recipe, as I do, for preserved lemons, and in fact the first time I made this was because I had preserved lemons in the house.
Yeah.
So when I do a book, I would always make sure there are lots of recipes if I'm not going to send anyone, not even myself, out shopping for one recipe.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you do have to like the fresh ingredient. So I know that if someone thinks, yes, I like the preserved lemons, but I'm going to get them for this. So then otherwise I've got a vegetable stew you can use. I've got some Brussels sprouts that they go in. I've also got the drink, so it's actually, for home cooks, it's not really helpful to have stuff in your pantry that you just use once and then you don't know what to do with it. I don't like waste. I think it's a bit longer. I'm very much looking forward to these.
We've got another question coming in from Gabby. She is curious, what's your favorite simple recipe using 5 ingredients or less? She loves your spaghetti marmite.
I really do. Well, you don't even need 5 ingredients really when you're cooking. I mean, one of the best, spaghetti with garlic and the chili flakes. Don't call them chili flakes, do you? You call them
chili flakes.
Yeah,
you ever
crushed
throw like
chili.
an anchovy fillet in? With garlic and chili?
Just anchovies is nice enough. Yeah. I mean, anchovies, olive oil, onions, also incredibly good. Yeah. And also when you make pasta anyway, so much of the sauce is created by the pasta cooking liquid that makes everything emulsify and makes it so creamy. I mean, without cream, that really you could just do onions and oil and pasta, couldn't you? I might. They're not uniform size, but I think, I mean, I don't mind how underdone they are, so I might start taking them off in a minute.
Yeah, they look pretty close.
Yeah, it's just that these ones are fatter, whereas these ones look like they're any minute now going to be perfect. I might start ferrying them.
These look great.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Okay, before everything smokes out too much. I think we can go that way now. Right. A bit more strewing.
I didn't do that much chopping.
No, I know, but we did a lot of talking.
This is like a close approximation of it.
I am going to have to use your fork because I used mine earlier.
Yeah.
So what I would do is I'd do it like this, but put the rest of the sauce so people can help themselves. And you know what's really delicious as well with this? If you steam some little baby potatoes at the same time, because baby potatoes dipped into this sauce. Yeah. Oh my God, making myself hungry. But also, I often make this on have this with a roasted sweet potato.
That sounds nice.
That's what I make often for my supper at home.
That sauce is so versatile.
Sorry, it's burning. It's getting a bit of the chili burning. That's what's making us. Well, I turned that off, but I think, yeah.
We have a few viewers that are very impressed with you cooking without an apron. They're worried about your sweater, but they're...
Yes, I know, but I seem to be all right.
Yes.
Although I am messy. I'll tell you the funny thing is, I cook without an apron, but I have to eat with an apron because I'm a very messy eater.
Here, I'll line this up next to yours.
Very, very good.
Lamb chops, chopped salad. That's dinner.
Excellent.
Right there.
It really is. That's mine at any rate.
Do we have anything else to say to the people watching on Facebook Live here?
No questions.
You wish you were here so you could taste it.
I'm going to put more pomegranates on this because I feel we got too much green going on now.
Sure.
And I feel this would be... There we are.
Well, this was a lot of fun.
It was so nice. Oh, it was lovely. Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
Thanks, Facebook Live. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.